have a little bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh. What'd I do? What did I get in trouble for?
You chose a question where I have to swear.
Is there a swear question in there?
Wait.
Really?
Yeah. Number 9.
I don't remember a swear.
Oh, yeah. I gotta say, do you take offense when someone says, God damn it?
That's not a swear word.
I gotta say, God damn it?
Yes, you can say, God damn it. It doesn't really care.
I've got, and then I have another thing that I have to ask you.
Yeah.
It's not 10 questions. It's not.
Was that?
You chose, no. You chose 10 people. There's 10 people, but there's like 19 questions because every person you chose has 2 or 3 questions. So here's my question for you. This is your deal.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, but here's my question to you.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna do a series.
Right. I mean, it might be longer than an hour. We'll just go through the questions, and it should be okay.
Do you want me to like stop it at an hour, no matter where we're at, or do you want me to carry on no matter how long it goes?
Just keep going until we're done.
Okay. Because
if I pass out, that's your cue that we're done.
Then thank you for joining us. We've lost Emma.
No, my team's making me feel like I'll be okay. That I've had all the practice that I need, and then everything will be fine. So.
Okay, but I've got to tell you, this is going to be more than an hour.
Probably, but I'll probably just do it. I'll cut it in slices then.
Okay, here's my next question. I'm getting to be real high maintenance.
That's okay.
I'm getting to be real high maintenance. How the fuck do you introduce God?
Well, we're not going to do an introduction.
Good. Okay.
I'm probably just gonna, I don't know. I'll probably just, first of all, welcome everybody, and we're just gonna let the questions be asked, because it's not a person, you can't address it like a person either. So that we're just gonna ask your questions, and we'll just go from there.
So
hope for the best, and hopefully people understand what it says, because when I communicate to it, I understand it, because I have this kind of inner knowing of certain stuff.
Yeah, you do.
But I don't know if people are ready to comprehend it, because so many people have channeled God. And you know what? I've never seen any of them who actually channels God source, or just channels that little bitty, and the rest is just their idea of God. So, I was talking yesterday, shitting my pants. I'm not nervous about the interview. I'm nervous about the response. I'm nervous about how people will, how it will affect people, or how they will welcome this. Because I have a feeling that, it's not going to be like anything else out there. So
up front. Oh, cheers, by the way.
Yeah, I got water and lemon. I'm hoping that'll keep
I got water. Cheers.
My throat clear. I actually got 2 in case this one runs out.
I got to back up.
We're ready. I'm also going to explain real quick why my eyes always go up. Because I have so many people who are like, oh, she's a fake. She's reading it off a monitor on my ceiling. I'm going to be like, look, there's my ceiling. Ain't no monitor. There's my desk. There's you.
Hi, me.
There's my, what is that called? There's my mouse. There's my kids' toys. There ain't nothing here to read except the bill. There's a bill. There's a bill. I have nothing that I can read off. So, you know, so many people are like, oh, she's just reading it. And I'm thinking, where? On the ceiling? Who would put a computer screen? Because one of them was like, or a few of them are like, oh, she has a computer screen on her ceiling. She's just reading it off because I keep doing this. But it's because the energy, you know, whenever I communicate to spirit, they always seem to be like in the same space, but like a little, it's almost like they're taller, they're leveled up, and it always, my eyes get pulled to where the energy is. I don't know. People might not understand. But I really shouldn't have to explain myself. Why do I always need to validate that?
You don't.
Excuse me. It's nerves. I got acid coming up, and it's just nerves. I'm really nervous because it's been so long since I've done this. I sent Gerald upstairs. He wasn't very happy that he had to go upstairs. But I didn't want to have any other energy in the room. So I don't want to, hopefully this doesn't last for 2 hours, this interview, so I can call him down and say, okay, we're done. You can come down.
It's going to be about an hour and a half.
You think so? Is that your estimate? I'm good.
This is what we do. I mean, my God, people don't realize that when you do these recordings, you gotta check for poppy seeds and stuff. Yeah. And
the good thing is they can't smell you.
I know. I spritz perfume on it. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, that's not gonna smell me.
I don't. But you know what? After every session that we do, I smell like crazy. I sweat like crazy. Like it's almost like when they are in my system, it overheats. And seriously, I have like massive sweaty armpits at the end of the session. Like I got to take all my clothes off. Yeah, nice. These are facts that people don't think. That's the truth right there. I'm gonna share that with people too. I sweat profusively.
You got sweat. I'm gonna have a shit all over my chair.
Oh my God.
Yes, this is behind the scenes. This is like, we are talking about what we don't put out on YouTube, which is we check the eyes, nose, teeth, the shitty pants. We got to check all this. Nobody knows.
I think we should
Nobody
do it.
The armpits. No, you talk. Yes, all right. You might be sweating because you're channeling and you're doing that, but I'm sweating. I gotta follow the questions. I gotta pay attention.
You gotta have a pen ready, and then you just mark off the question you've done. There you go. You know, but I know you have to pay attention to what's being said, and I'm off.
Thank you.
I'm off. You're doing most of the work because I'm kind of off.
Thank you. You're gone. You're gone. You've checked out.
I'm doing the work, but it's different.
Hold on a second. It's because I have headphones on and I can't hear myself.
Sorry, Pa.
Emma says sorry.
We're too loud. Ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Oh, let's see how nervous I am. I'm constantly touching stuff. It's because I'm
so God's source is going to enter your body.
It does, but it's not. It's not going to be, it can't get fully into my system or my body would explode. My body can't handle that amount of energy. So what it does is it kind of, a little bit like a parasite, it taps in and it takes over the system. But it can't fully, its full mass cannot go into, it's just too powerful. My body wouldn't make it.
But I guess my question really is then, are you, Emanuelle McIntosh, checking out?
I'm still checking out, but Yeah, it feels the same as the rest. I'm there, but I'm not fully aware of what's being said, but I'm aware that I'm talking.
Okay.
So that didn't feel different. That felt the same. But I feel like when I talk to normal entities, I can kind of feel their whole system going in, right? But with God, it almost feels like there's a hand on the back of my back, and it just touches, and it just kind of takes over that way. It's kind of weird, kind of like a parasite, like it latches on. So I don't know how else to explain it. I'm a movie buff, so I always think in terms of movie. And I'm thinking of a movie where there was this, and it attached to the person's neck, and then it took over its speech. And that's kind of what it's like. Does that make any sense? Am I crazy?
Godspeed.
Okay, it'll work. It'll be fine.
We love you. Thank you.
Oh. Are you okay? What happened? Did I make you cry?
I'm checking my chair.
Oh, Lord. How did it go? Oh, my God, my neck hurts. Oh, every muscle hurts. Ow! I feel like I was stuck in a tube. Oh, look, my hands are shaking. Oh, my muscles feel so sore. Oh, ow.
There's going to be EVPs there.
Oh, yeah? Did it not interfere with the transition, the transmission?
Let me get my volume up now.
Oh, my God. Ow.
There were, come back in your body. There were
it hurts.
3 times. There were 3 times where you froze on my computer.
It might be okay on my end.
It might be okay on your end, but on my end, there were 3 times where you froze, and I was listening, and I thought, I think there's going to be some EVPs here.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It'd be great.
I'm burping. I felt violated. My pants is fine, but every muscle hurts. Every muscle hurts. Ow. Why does it every time that come in, it's like every muscle, it's like I went through for a run, for a jog, and it's like everything hurts. Oh. Did it make any sense? Did it make any? Might have to re-listen to it.
I will re-listen. I mean, that was really heavy and deep, and that was just phenomenal.
I hope it makes sense. I when I channel God, it usually comes in when I'm in my bed for some reason. It always makes sense, but I don't know if it has to go through this filter system. If it will make sense.
I think this was clearly different from channeling an energy that has been a human.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not
like this.
It doesn't even feel like a human. It doesn't.
This wasn't.
That's
like,
the weird thing is.
Life. And so the challenge was for this energy to find the words to convey to
Right.
our human experience. And I think there was more than one occasion throughout the answers where there was a kind of a struggle of, how do I explain this? Because not so much that the creator didn't have the language, but it was our human limitation to understand what the creator wanted to convey. So there was a lot of, how do I convey this in a way in which you will understand? Because you're not going to get your head around it. You're not going to understand
Yeah. Eric
what
always
you're,
tells me that too. He's like, you guys want to understand everything, but the human mind is not ready to comprehend it.
and that
And then
came
he
true.
says that the verbal, there's not enough words or not the right words to
Right.
express what it is or something. Yeah, Eric tells me that all the time.
And that came through. That came through a few times when you re-listen. You can hear that sort of challenge with, where's the verbal communication that you will understand? And that was challenging. I think that was a real challenging thing. I love towards the end, God revealed a sense of humor.
Yeah, and that's the weird part. Like, it's such a neutral source, but at the same time, when I tap into its source, I feel all the emotions that there are, but it's not personified. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Humans
It does,
really
sure.
we identify ourselves with our feelings. We personify our feelings. That source contains every emotion ever created, not only by humans, but by other beings as well. But it doesn't identify itself with it. So it has humor, but doesn't use the humor to be liked. Let's say it that way. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
There's no ego.
Yeah.
There's no ego.
Yeah.
There's no ego. And I think, that was clear. I don't have an ego. So when I asked the question about, do you take offense, was like, how can I take offense when I don't have an ego?
Right. I mean, yeah, that seems logical.
And the creator, the creator referred to me as Sweet Pam.
Oh, because you are a sweetheart.
Sweet Pam.
Oh,
that's my ego.
It loves
that's
you.
That's my ego.
There's your
I have an ego.
It was stroking your ego. I think it just wanted to express its love for you.
Sweet Pam, when I was questioning the humor, Sweet Pam, where did you get your sense of humor from? Got it from me.
Probably. Well, it is all that is. So yeah.
And that was just really delightful. It was like, of course I have a sense of humor, and you have a sense of humor, and it exists because I exist, and I am you, and you are me. They are you, and it's like that connection. That how can mankind understand the connection, that we're all connected, and we're, I'm you and you're me.
It's just, I think for a human, it is so hard to, it's impossible to be one with everything.
Yeah,
I don't think it's possible because
of our ego, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, the ego is set in place, so you would have that individual experience, that separation.
Yes.
You need to have the ego, or you cannot really have the human condition. So,
Or experience.
you know, and people who, you know, when I tap into Jesus and I tap into Buddha, they reached a certain level of enlightenment where basically the ego fades, it goes away, but you're still identifying yourself as a singular unit. And so the ego turns into a healthy ego where you are aware of your individual presence, but you're no longer identifying yourself with the character that you're creating, but instead identifying yourself with everyone around you and everything around you. You are loving everyone and everything, even the people who might hurt you. You can only feel love for them because they are you and you are them, and you're in that state. That's what we call state of enlightenment. Is there's the identification with the self disappears, but the understanding of one's unit is still present. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, let me ask you, how are you feeling? How do you feel now?
I have a headache right now. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Do you remember anything? Do you remember any?
I remember giggling.
That was the humor part.
I remember giggling, and I was thinking, why are we laughing?
Well, because I'm your sidekick, there's always going to be laughter.
I was thinking, why are we laughing? I remember a little bit from the beginning, I think where why do I always say he? It's just imprinted into us. God is a man. It's not. Where it was talking about something about that it was everything and the nothingness that surrounds it, that it's, and that what we as humans, hold on, I really gotta think, what we as humans consider to be nothing is something. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. And something is nothing.
And something is energy, that nothingness is energy. I remember that.
Yeah, that was about
I think I got lost after that.
I think that was about I think you're referring to the question about the black hole.
Okay. I don't know. I think it was at the beginning. Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, good luck with listening to that. I will listen to it again because it's
intense.
It's deep.
Okay.
I
might have to re-listen to a couple of times before I get it.
Well, I think what this proves is why this interview took a year and a half to happen.
It was tough. Every time, because this is what happened. Remember I said, we'll do an interview with God in a couple of weeks. And every time I tried to channel, my body started shaking. I would start crying, like, and I wasn't even sad, but it just, tears would come out. And so it can only come in for a few minutes, and then it retracted. Because basically, when your body weeps, it's because the energy inside gets so intense that the body can't contain it. And therefore, the body weeps in order to release energy. And so every time it would come in, I would start crying like a crazy person, not because I was sad, because I didn't feel sad, but my eyes would start watering like crazy. And it was just because we slowly had to acclimatize. I'm not good with words.
Acclimatize.
Yeah. Its frequency to be able to be contained within the frequency of my cells. Because my body's frequency is very low and dense. Otherwise, if the frequency of my cells would start going up, literally my body would become invisible. If you watch, there's a great movie, Lucy. If you watch that, her whole system starts to evolve at a very quick space, and eventually her body dissolves because she's vibrating at such a high frequency that the physicality falls apart. So we have to stay as humans in a very low, dense, earthly vibration, but our souls on its own are very high vibrational, but then you have God's source that is massive vibrational.
Yeah.
And so for that massive amount of energy to be able to be contained within this lower vibrational cell energy, it took massive amounts of work to get to this point. So, but that's just how I experience it. I don't know how other mediums experience that, but that's how I experienced it. And it took me a long time to get to be able to contain it for about an hour. And right now my head's pounding. Every muscle feels like I had the worst workout in the world and I didn't stretch. They feel tight, they feel sore, and I feel like I ran a marathon. That's how I feel right now. So I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I feel happy inside because I was able to do it without crying. Woohoo!
Well, this goes back to you wanted to do, I don't know, whenever you did Jesus, whenever it was you did Jesus, you said, I want to do God after Jesus.
Yeah, I guess.
So
But that was a while ago.
that was a while ago.
But I remember Jesus, when Jesus was a semi, I don't do full channelings but it's kind of like a semi-trance channeling. I'm still present, but I'm not really there. I remember sometimes Jesus's energy got too intense and I'd have to stop for a second because I would start crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that didn't take that long. That only took like a week or two to acclimatize to Jesus' energy. But God source, woo, that was something else. Bye guys. All right. Stop. Where's the stop button?